guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV 2014-2015 AC Milan season preview. We got it here for you guys. I'm with Adamo here to talk about just a bit about the season that's about to start and kick off in just a few days. As you may know, our first match is on Sunday against Lazio. We'll have a separate preview for that match. But now we're going to be talking about the upcoming season in general. And let's get this off right off the bat, guys. Adamo, are we ready to compete in this season and fight for a primary objective and, of course, return to the Champions League next season? What do you think? Are we ready?
Well, I think I don't think we'll be making Champions League. I think that's too high of hopes from AC Milan, especially with the state that we're in right now. So I think Europa League could be possible, maybe fifth, hopefully at least something like sixth. But I think Inzaghi can prove a lot of people wrong and show that he really can handle this, but there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. So I don't know if he'll be able to be up to the task. But I guess we can just say let's just hope he does something right, and let's hope his Grinta tactic works, because it seemed to work in our first game that we played in the Trofeo Team Cup.
Now, not much help from the Milan management this summer once again. But do we have a better squad than last year? I mean, there's a new coach, as you mentioned, Inzaghi coming in to replace Allegri and Seedorf. Of course, we saw all kinds of coaches in these past few months. There's also many useless players that have departed, and I'm talking about Constant, Robinho, that wasn't doing much. And we got some replacements, but are they really worthy of Milan? Could they make a difference in this season and not see a repeat of what we saw last season, really, in terms of results, in terms of chemistry as a whole for the team? What do you think about this?
Well, I think they're definitely better players than we had before. Jerry Menes has really been impressing me thus far, and it's possible that we might be playing him as a false nine, which I think could possibly work out. But yeah, Jeremy Menez, Alex, good signing if you ask me. He did very well at PSG last season. So I think all the signings that we have brought in, and officially signing Rami, all those signings, I think it has made us stronger, especially that we got rid of the waste like Constant and Zaccardo, and actually no, Zaccardo's still here. Fantastic. I think we're definitely a better squad, but it's not good enough to reach the expectations that the AC Milan management have.
Now, you mentioned a lot of players, and if I may add, even Diego Lopez coming in, that is definitely a great addition, not only for the team, but especially to organize that back line, because really what we saw last year was unexplainable. All the mistakes we saw, and hopefully they will be reduced this season. However, the problems at the back will continue to be there, of course. As you mentioned, Alex coming in as well, he could help out, but Armeiro as well as a fullback. These are replacements, of course, better than we had, but maybe not the best, of course. There's still lots of teams up there way superior than us, and really to actually compete against these teams, we need the proper signings, we need money invested, and it has not been done yet by the Milan management. And speaking about replacements, Adamo, as I said, we're just a few days off from kickoff and from the end of the transfer window, and there's still many positions to fill. Now, as we know, Balotelli signed for Liverpool just a few days ago. We're still searching for a replacement for him. What's happening with the whole situation? It seems like it's been reduced to only Torres and Biabiani now. What do you make of this? Money, where did it go?
Well, I mean, complete disgrace by AC Milan, if you ask me. I predicted this from the beginning. The reason I said I didn't want to sell Balotelli in the first place is because I was afraid not only would his money from the sale be randomly vanished, like we all know where it goes, into Silvio's pocket, but also our previous budget, because AC Milan act like our starting budget was 0 million, which I find impossible if you're a team like AC Milan, who's won so many trophies. And even though Berlusconi's cheap, no team has a 0 million starting budget. So it's pretty disgraceful if you ask me. I don't understand the way they thought, even being linked to Borini. I don't get why they couldn't just try to find him a way to fit into the Balotelli deal, because they probably wouldn't even reduce the price, because it was such a steal, if you ask me. For 20 million for somebody like Balotelli, that's a complete steal. So I think they're foolish on that part. And with Palosky, they let him go for absolutely nothing. So they really dug themselves in this hole because they could have just kept Palosky. It would have been perfect because at a team like Verona, he does very, very well. Even without service, he makes it for himself some way at that team. But I think it would be pretty good this season, and I'm very disappointed in Milan that we didn't keep Palosky, especially now that we're desperate for a striker with the transfer window ending in a few days.
As you mentioned, the level of professionalism at AC Milan really is unexplainable. A team with so much experience and so much good work in the Mercato, as we usually know what they do, especially Galliani. But guys, it seems like mistake after mistake after mistake, and they just can't seem to find the right formula to bring in this team, partially because they don't have a plan at all. And second of all, making mistakes in transfers, selling out players, and then replacing them with complete garbage, or not even having a plan on who to sign. I mean, just in the past week or two, we've been linked with like 10 forwards, and yet we still can't find someone to come play for our team. Now, moving on, guys, not only a striker is needed here, also a midfield, and there's been talks of a possible move from 21-year-old Marco Van Ginkel. Now, it seemed like Chelsea and Milan did have an agreement on him, but it was all up to the player, and it seems like he has refused and wants to stay at Chelsea. What do you make of this? I mean, not even youngsters want to come to Milan anymore. It's a complete disgrace.
Well, it's already bad enough for me that I like Van Ginkel as a player. From what I've seen of him, I haven't seen much, but I know he is a pretty promising midfielder and would be very good for AC Milan. But the problem I have with this is it's just a loan deal. So even if he does well, we have to say bye to him at the end of the season, and Chelsea are going to know we'd want him back, so they put some ridiculous price on him. So I think it's already foolish that we're pretty much a breeding ground for other teams' players. I don't know when Milan became that, but apparently that's the road they're going down now. And it's even worse that he refused us. So a player that barely ever plays, probably won't play much at Chelsea because they have such a fantastic and deep squad, that he even refused AC Milan, where he'd probably play almost every game. So the fact that even he sees the unprofessionalism at AC Milan and doesn't want to go, it just shows how much of a joke this club has become. And I don't know if they can dig themselves out of it if Berlusconi and Galliani are still in charge.
Well said, well said. Now, there's also a winger that Milan are still after. Talks with Cerci, possibly coming on the last day of the Mercato. Honestly, guys, I'm just so fed up of all this bullshit that we've been hearing day in and day out. It's been years that we've been suffering like this till the last day of the Mercato. And honestly, personally, I can't even think of another team that has to go through this. It's disgraceful. What do you think, Damo? Will Cerci come in the end to Milan or not?
I hope he does, but I doubt it, because if AC Milan already haven't made a bid for, or not a bid, but have an official offer already in high talks with him, then I feel it's too late. I don't know what they can possibly do. Maybe they already have a fee agreed behind closed doors, and they just have to agree with Cerci. So it's possible, but the way that they've been acting this Mercato is disgusting, because I don't understand how a club who doesn't spend a penny sells their star player, says they have all this money from before, sells a bunch of players with high wages, yet they still apparently have no money to spend. So it really annoys me when they say, oh, we can't afford this player. No, you can afford the player, because if you look at what they say, they should have around 30 to 40 million. It's just that they don't want to spend it, and they'd rather keep it to themselves. I don't care if you have debt. If you have debt, go accept offers from other people. You should be desperate to be accepting offers. Don't make your fans suffer because of your stupidity and decisions that make absolutely no sense. So I feel it's completely selfish by AC Milan. But like you said, I hope Cerci comes. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably a 40% chance that it will, 60% chance that it won't. But all we can do is hope, really.
And just to add to the disgrace of Milan really in these past few months and to this actual Mercato, apparently Monaco have actually made an offer for Rami, and guess what? Milan are actually considering to accept it. Now, if you guys don't know about this, but Rami, before coming into Milan this year and accepting his contract, he actually put in some money of his own to come and stay at Milan, and now they want to give him away. It's honestly ridiculous. Us fans can't take this anymore, and we definitely hope for changes as soon as possible. Now, with that, Adamo, we'll leave the fans on a note. Your expectations and predictions for this coming season for Milan. Don't forget, Milan are only playing in the Serie A this season, so they have no excuses whatsoever not to perform as well as last year, or even better. Really, they have to do better in order to reach those Europa or Champions League spots. What are your expectations?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I'm sure a ton of people will, because nobody expects them to make Europa League. But I'm being not necessarily hopeful, but I feel that people, although lacks a lot of experience and, is still getting the feel of Serie A, as he hasn't even had his first match in it yet. But I think we can make 5th place. I'm being hopeful that we can make 5th place. It's possible. But again, the competition is crazy in Serie A nowadays, with Roma obviously shooting up the table, Juventus, Fiorentina, Inter, Napoli, all those teams, even Lazio, which is our first fixture, they're having a fantastic mercato. They addressed their issues, and they did it with the right price. They even spent a ton of money. So there's a lot of competition. I'm hoping for 5th. A more realistic prediction, I'd say probably 6th, maybe 5th. So I'm just being very hopeful, I guess.
So definitely 5th or 6th for you. I say the same thing. Definitely very tough to actually get back in the Champions League with the mercato we had. Once again, not addressing the problems properly. It will hurt us once again this season. Sorry guys if I have to say this, but we have to be realistic. And while many fans, including ourselves, are hoping for the best for this team and to actually end in the top 3, realistically speaking, guys, I just don't see it. So, guys, that is it for the season preview, AC Milan 2014-2015. Don't forget, first fixture of the Serie A this coming Sunday. We'll have a match preview for you guys in a few days, so be sure to subscribe to Rossoneri TV for that. This has been Gio and Adamo signing off, and as usual, Forza Milan!
Forza Milan!